Hi, and welcome to the Empower Women Show with Jane Trimble, the show that empowers and elevates women in the community by sharing their story and showcasing their business. Today I have Amy Hamilton of Seventh Compass. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Do you want to share a little bit about where you're from and what you do?
So I'm actually just from outside Saskatoon. I went to school in Clavette, grew up on an acreage, so I've always been kind of a country girl and just found myself back there within the last year.
Okay.
And now I am creating affirmation decks for different groups of people and putting those decks into the world.
I love it.
Yeah.
And it is those very decks that made me want to have you on the show, because I was at the Scarecrow Festival in Lumsden in the summer, found your deck both for women and for kids.
Yeah.
And they're brilliant. They're
you.
really, really good. And I was like, whoever has made these is onto something. It's super smart. So anyway, I was glad to sort of like that within the deck is your details, and that's how I found you.
Yeah.
So, right, well, let's rewind. You're originally from outside of Saskatoon.
Yes.
And then you said you came back. Did you go away for a while, or?
Just in the city. I meant more came back to country life.
Okay.
But yeah.
Came back to 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
Very good. And are you from big family, small family? What's your background?
Smaller family, my mom, dad, and I have an older sister who's only 16 months older than me. We grew up together, as I said, on an acreage, so very close-knit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. And how did the affirmation decks come about then? What inspired them? What's the story behind them?
So it was kind of a winding path.
Yeah.
I found myself at home raising my two young girls. And I was a teacher before this, but I always kind of felt like I needed something more, like I was missing that professional aspect of my life when I was staying at home with my kids. So I started going into some digital design stuff, doing some like kids art prints with sort of motivational sayings and stuff like that, because I've always been into that mindfulness piece and gratitude, and just like, you know, having a positive and a strong mindset can really help you through some of those tougher periods, which motherhood can be. And so it was actually during COVID where somebody from Saskatchewan had created this Local Love Facebook page. And it was to help residents buy local things, support local businesses when all these businesses shut down and we, you know, had to stay within our homes. And a lady on there had actually found some sweary affirmation cards on Amazon, and she went into the
Hold on, sweary affirmation. So what is that? What do you mean?
So affirmations that just incorporate swear words.
Okay, cool.
So
which I love.
Yeah. She had posted in this Local Love page, which I was in, can any local vendor make something along these lines, make something like this? And I saw her post, and I was already doing the digital design stuff, and I was kind of like, I feel like I'd be really good at this. I have an English background. I taught high school English in the past, and then with that mindfulness piece integrated in and the digital design, I was like, I want to do this. So I reached out to her, and yeah, I created my first ever deck, which was an affirmations deck. And
affirmations deck. Okay.
Yeah, so I then posted this deck back on that Facebook page when I was about to get it printed, and I just said, is anybody else interested in these before I go to the printer and get them done for this one lady who wanted them done? And I had 75 people comment on that one Facebook post. And I was like, okay, there's something here. There is a niche market. And when I was doing my research for that initial deck, I just found that a lot of the stuff that was already out there was very broad, not really relatable, almost kind of going into the false positivity.
Yeah.
And not really relating to the end audience. And so that's kind of when I decided to branch out and do decks for different groups of people to meet them where they're at in their life, to help them feel validated and seen, and practice mindfulness in a way that they can actually resonate with and make it more of a realistic achievement in their everyday life.
Beautiful. So I love how the decks are a marriage of all the skills that you learned along the way. So you said you were teaching, and then the mindfulness, I guess, came out of the struggles in motherhood. You were probably needing affirmations yourself at that time. And then the design work that you do. So it's a beautiful marriage of all of those three things, and it's so simple. So why don't you share with us? So a deck, for anybody who doesn't know, is just it's 52, isn't it? So one every week.
Yes.
Card. So
yes.
It's a card with a quote on it.
Yes.
Do you want to share one or two of the quotes without swearing?
I mean, so I recently went through a rebrand.
Okay.
And I brought a couple of the decks here.
Very nice.
So these are the ones that I have available now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did the 52 cards so that you could do one a week every week of the year if you want to, or just whenever you need a boost, or whatever.
Oh, I love it. The rebrand's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Gray Street Studios was the one who helped me.
Are they local?
Yeah, they're from a kind of a small town too. Okay. So here's one for mothers. I do not always need to be in control for everything to work out. You know, sometimes the cards are more serious. Some of them are a little bit more cheeky. Like, I think there's one that says something like, it's okay to hide in the pantry for a beat, or something like that. You know, just when you need to take a moment or a breather, because kids can be relentless.
Totally.
And yeah, same with the kids deck. I just really wanted kids to be able to understand what the affirmations meant, instead of just saying like, I'm smart, I'm kind. It's like, okay, but what does that mean? Like, that is kind of an abstract concept for a kid to grasp. So just writing them in a way where a kid can access what that means and then apply it to their daily situations.
So what would that mean then? So instead of just saying on the kid's affirmation, I am strong, or whatever, what give some examples of what they are for the kids?
So it would just basically go into more detail, and obviously the best case scenario would be if an adult were like working through it with them. But say like, sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but I can always try my best, or I can always have fun, or like, something like that, where it actually puts them in a situation. I know one of my friends had been using the kids' cards with her daughter, and they had just gone to a soccer game, and her daughter was really upset, or like, I don't know if she was kind of scared of one of the coaches there or something. And she, on the way home, like, they weren't using the cards at the time, but the child had remembered one of the things that they had read, and then all of a sudden it comes out in the car in a different situation where she's applying it to her life, about how I can't even remember what it was now, but it was something about her like being brave and having strength when she's in a position that makes her uncomfortable or something. Yeah.
Perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
And it's true, and that's what the purpose of affirmations are, is a little reminder, a prompt, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I find it gives me, and when I pull one every morning actually, and I put it up either like above my sink or somewhere where I can see it, so that just through the day I'm like reminded, oh yeah, there's one I really like, it says charge what you're worth and then add some tax.
Yeah.
B, and I love that one.
Yeah.
Very cool. And so you've gone through some rebranding,
yes.
and it's called Seventh Compass.
Yes.
Do you want to go into? You said you worked with your branding consultant or person.
Yes.
What does the name mean?
So she really encouraged me to add a number to the name, because that can kind of make it more unique when you're looking to trademark something. And so she encouraged me to look at the streets that I lived on, and she was like, what are your family's birthdays? And she found these patterns where the number 7 kept coming up. And I thought that was really neat. So before I committed to it, I looked a little bit more into some numerology and a little bit woo-woo, but I mean, I think there's a place for that too. Yeah. And one of the significant aspects of the number 7 was that every 7 years in human psychology, people tend to go through like a major change or a major transformation. And at that point in my life, my oldest daughter was 7 years old. And I felt like I was kind of emerging out of that motherhood fog and kind of finding my own self, professional life again.
Beautiful.
So I felt like that was significant. And then amongst all of the significant dates and like streets and all of that, I just really wanted to incorporate that. And then the compass part of it, I really want this brand to act as a second like compass for people to find their own way, to find a better mindset, a happier life, and even to find their own inner compass to kind of point them to, you know, gratitude and just a more fulfilled existence.
I love it. What a great mission.
Thanks.
And what a great product.
Thank you.
If people want to get their hands on these beautiful decks, how do they do that? Where do they go?
So they can go to amazon.ca or amazon.com. They are now live there, which was a big
Congratulations,
feat.
that's really big.
Thank you. Yeah, and so that's where they are for purchase right now. I do have a website under construction, so it would just lead you right to there. And yeah, you can Google Seventh Compass and it'll lead you.
Come up.
Yeah.
And are you on social media?
I am. Yeah, I'm on Instagram.
What's your handle?
At 7th_compass.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Amy, for coming today. It's wonderful to learn about you, about your product. And yeah, thank you for the conversations. And yeah, you've been listening to the Empower Women show, where we elevate and empower women in the community by sharing their story and showcasing their business. We'll see you next time. Queens belong on thrones. Let's put them there.